we need to take a deep dive into the deeply uncomfortable, highly cringy, and outright bizarre love life of Chris Griffin. When it comes to romance, this hormone-riddled teenager might just have the absolute worst track record in the show.
Chris?
Meg?
In today's video, we are breaking down every Chris Griffin's questionable dates. Let's start the show. Kicking off our list is Season 9, Episode 10, Tom Tucker, The Man and His Dream. Have you ever seen a guy date a girl who looks exactly like his own mom? Well, Chris manages to do exactly that, creating a seriously uncomfortable Oedipus-level vibe in the Griffin house. The cringe starts when Chris comes home from school with some exciting news. He met a girl.
It was great. I met a girl, Mom.
When Lois asks what she is like, Chris says she is really nice, super pretty, and her bicycle seat smells like strawberries. Hey, he is going with the dog park style of flirting, but at least we can be rest assured she practices good hygiene. Chris manages to seal the deal and asks her out, but when he brings his new girlfriend Lindsay by the house, she looks a tad familiar, exactly like Lois.
Lindsay, this is my mom, my little brother Stewie, and my dog Brian.
Completely oblivious to the Freudian vibes, Lois just tells the girl she looks like Cameron Diaz. Not saying she isn't pretty, but complimenting Lindsay is basically just a massive compliment for Lois.
You know, Lindsay, I just want to say how nice it is to have such a beautiful young woman in our home.
Lois absolutely loves having her around, completely ignoring Brian's obvious hints that she only likes Lindsay because they look exactly alike.
Lois, don't you think maybe part of the reason you like Lindsay could be because she looks so much like you?
What are you talking about?
Lois is so busy gushing over her son's hot new girlfriend that she even claims Chris is cool now because she smoked during her pregnancy. But it turns out Lindsay isn't just like Lois in terms of looks. She's an adulterer like her too. After Bonnie shares the sentiment that they look alike, Lois finally clues in when she sees Lindsay making out with another boy.
Hey, you know, she kind of looks like you, Lois.
Lois decides to break the bad news to Chris, leading to him casually asking if she was kissing with her mouth or her pants mouth, because apparently she does both.
Chris, I can't believe you knew about this. That's terrible. Why would you even date a girl like that?
But here's the real kicker. Chris actually knew she was unfaithful and dated her anyway. He tells Lois that he just looks at her and Peter, knowing his dad is a complete train wreck, and she still puts up with him.
I just look at you and Dad, you know? He's a complete train wreck, and you put up with him.
Since Chris feels like a train wreck himself, he figured if he didn't find a girl just like his mom, he might never find anyone at all.
Oh, Chris, of course you'll find someone, and you are a prize. You're a handsome, kind-hearted young man.
I guess that reasoning is fairly sweet, but it is still very creepy. Yeah, she looks like Lois, but the things you most admire about your mom should come from a deeper place. I'd like to think Chris's attraction doesn't go any deeper than that, but with this family, I definitely have my doubts.
Thanks for buying me these clothes, Glenn.
You're welcome. And you're dismissed.
Do I still get to keep the 20?
Up next is Season 13, Episode 11, Encyclopedia Griffin. Have you ever wondered how far someone would go if they were completely striking out in the dating game? Well, Chris takes desperation to an entirely new, deeply concerning level when he literally builds himself a girlfriend out of stolen laundry. The madness begins when Peter and the guys decide to start their own neighborhood detective agency to solve petty crimes.
Hey kid, you know anything about a tricycle that just got stolen from the park?
No, sir. I've been sitting here for the last 3 hours selling lemonade.
Specifically looking into a string of stolen items reported around town. Quagmire manages to get a solid lead, thanks to some footage from a nanny cam.
Guys, I think I got a lead on all these thefts. One of the kids had a nanny cam hidden in his room.
Which, of course, requires him to fast forward through some pretty gross adult activities first.
God, I look huge in that bed, don't I?
But when they finally reach the footage of the thief, they are shocked to see that it's Chris.
Chris Gaines was Garth Brooks. I just figured that out.
Looking for answers, the guys snoop around Chris's room and find the stolen goods.
No! Don't hurt Heather! Don't hurt my girlfriend!
What the
Chris made a doll?
Lois obviously doesn't think it's healthy for her son to be spending all his time with a homemade doll, so she forces Peter to go talk to him.
Maybe it's our fault Chris has such a screwed up idea about what a relationship is.
But when Peter tries to have a man-to-man chat, Chris casually complains that Heather hasn't even let him get to second base yet. As weird as the whole situation is, Chris actually treats Heather incredibly well.
I just really like spending time with you. Wow, I am gonna have to write to somebody about this.
They go on dates where Chris tells her how much he likes spending time with her, and Peter even buys Chris a bouquet of flowers to give to the doll. Lois gets furious that Peter isn't fixing the situation, but she soon realizes the harsh truth.
Oh good, the flowers came. We're just cocooning today because Heather said she's never seen TV.
Chris treats that hunk of junk way better than Peter treats her. Hoping that some of that romance will rub off on Peter, Lois even tries to invite herself and Peter along on Chris and Heather's picnic.
Can your father and I come with you?
Let me just ask Heather. I know, but I think we better.
What?
We'd love to. Sounds great.
Eventually, seeing Chris's fake relationship thrive while her real marriage crumbles causes Lois to snap. Suddenly, Heather goes missing.
Ah! Heather's gone! Mom, Heather's disappeared. Have you seen her?
And Lois tells Chris this is a great opportunity for him to find a girl with a real heartbeat. To help him get closure, Lois takes Chris deep into the woods, where they dig up a shallow grave to find Heather murdered.
Heather! Oh my God!
Lois tells Chris that if he ever treats a real woman the way he treated that doll, he's going to make her very happy. All it took was a little faux murder to give Chris the confidence to find a real girlfriend.
I don't think I need Heather anymore.
I'm glad to hear that, Chris. Seems like maybe you're growing up.
But before they leave the woods, Chris uses a knife to cut open the doll's stomach to retrieve their baby, which turns out to be entirely made of Skittles. Hey, you can't let a perfectly good bundle of Skittles go to waste.
Mom, Dad, I want you to meet my new girlfriend. This is Mistress Vita.
No talking unless I say.
Up next is Season 15, Episode 5. Have you ever wondered what happens when a totally average teenager manages to date a mega pop star? Chris finds out the hard way when he scores a homecoming date with none other than Taylor Swift, only to realize that dating her means you will inevitably become the villain of her next hit single. The cringe begins with the homecoming dance rapidly approaching, and Chris is seriously struggling to land himself a date.
Hey there, strong guy.
Not now, Brenda.
He gets pretty desperate and even asks a cosplayer dressed as Baymax the robot from Big Hero 6, who politely turns him down. That's right, Baymax has got some shooters out there, so you better put some respect on his name.
His name is Baymax, you gorgeous moron!
Since Chris can't score a date with any of the actual girls at his school, the next best option is to beg a celebrity online for pity points. He gets the idea to ask Taylor Swift to the dance.
I have an idea. You should ask Taylor Swift to the homecoming dance.
What? Why would she go to a dance with me?
And while Chris wonders why she would ever go with him, it is pointed out that she seems quite fond of men who may have suffered several concussions, making Chris the absolute perfect fit.
How would I even ask her?
Oh, it's easy. You and I will just make a video about how sad you are and put it online.
Taking a shot in the dark, Chris sends her a heartfelt video, and believe it or not, she actually responds and agrees to go to the dance with him.
Hey, Chris Griffin, I just saw your video, and I'd love to go to your dance with you.
Honestly, wow. And he didn't even have to pay a several $100 cameo fee for that either. Take notes. Ice-T. It shouldn't cost an arm and a leg for you to call someone back and tell them if you really think you're solving actual crimes on Law & Order.
I can't believe Taylor Swift is actually going to be in our house. I haven't been this excited since I abused those caffeine pills to get ready for the big show.
Taylor Swift actually shows up in Quahog for the date, and surprisingly, the dance seems to go incredibly well with the two of them getting along great.
You know, Chris, I'm having a great time. You're so cool and down to earth.
I like you too, Taylor.
However, the fairy tale romance takes a massive nosedive when Taylor puts out her next song, which ends up being a deliberate and brutal hit piece directed entirely towards Chris.
Chris Griffin is a pig in every way.
In a surprising twist of fate, Chris actually has to be the one to dump the massive pop star just so she can keep her fans happy.
Chris, what happened? I thought you said Taylor had a good time the other night.
We did. She even let me grab the part of her body which on others would be a butt.
Deciding to end a relationship with a billionaire pop star just to help her save her career. The guy is either completely noble, incredibly stupid, or some weird mixture of both.
You pretend to relate to your fans, but you make your bodyguards carry your purse.
Thank you, Chris.
Wrapping up our list is Season 4, Episode 16, Jungle Love. Have you ever wanted to get out of a stressful situation so badly that you fled the country and accidentally got married to a stranger? Well, Chris manages to do exactly that in this wild episode. The whole mess kicks off when Chris is just starting high school, and you know what that means. Freshman hazing.
Oh man, remember how much fun that was beating those freshmen silly?
You're not serious, are you?
I remember all the paddling that went on during my first day of school. Then again, I was homeschooled, so at least Chris had somewhere to escape to after hours. But Chris is pretty convinced that as long as he is at school, he will be hunted for sport every day until he graduates. Brian tells him you can't run away from your problems, pointing out that is exactly what he tried to do when he joined the Peace Corps. But that little lore drop actually gives Chris a great idea, so he runs off to South America to escape the hazing.
Peter, I just found this note in Chris's room. He ran away to join the Peace Corps.
Oh my God, give me that!
Luckily, Chris is warmly welcomed into his new village, where the air is clean, the food is bountiful, and the water is caffeine-free.
Never had it? Ha ha ha! Never will. This is my daughter, Loka.
Chris ends up making quite a positive impression on the tribe, especially with the chief's daughter, Loka.
Oh my, Chris, we can see your Just kidding. Everyone's are hanging out.
She approaches him and asks if he would like to dance, and he happily agrees since no one has ever asked him to dance before.
Sure. No one's ever asked me to dance before.
But it turns out, engaging the entire tribe in dance according to their customs means he is now officially married to her.
This is a joyous occasion. You have engaged the entire tribe in dance. According to our customs, you are now married to my daughter.
Wow, you don't have to buy a ring or cover the cost of an open bar or anything. Think I could try this back home and not get stoned to death. But the accidental matrimony doesn't last long, as Chris's family eventually arrives and convinces him that he belongs back home.
Now get your things together. We're leaving right now.
Well, Mom, I'm not going anywhere. I'm happy here.
He admits he just came to the jungle because he was afraid of being a freshman.
God, you're right. I married this 11-year-old girl for all the wrong reasons. I'm sorry, Loka.
No matter where in the world you're from, it's always your moral duty to haze a freshman. It was nice to see Chris finding his own tribe for a time, even if they could never forgive him for one of the biggest sins imaginable, being a teenager.
Peter, I think we forgot Meg.